So one of the things when I'm out on the trail, it's nice to have some electronics. And I've got a few here set up in the Jeep. So I do have my Garmin Overlander. I've got a mount for my phone and a mount for my iPad. And one of the things that really kind of annoys me is having cables all over the place to charge these devices, which is going to be important on the trail, especially if I'm using the iPad for off-road navigation with something like Gaia GPS or Onyx off-road, any of those kinds of things. The other issue is that the standard power cable for the Garmin plugs into a 12-volt outlet. And of course, our 12-volt outlet on the dash, we've replaced with the Mopar trailer brake controller. So now we no longer have a 12-volt outlet on the dash. So we're going to do some work here and get direct power up to all these items so that they're set up and ready to go, and we don't have to worry about wires hanging all over the place, and we can charge them on the go. So that's what we're going to do next. So I want to run some power up to the dash here for my Garmin, for my GoPro, and for my phone. I also want to run some power in through the glove box for my iPad. For that, a lot of that stuff I'm going to use the factory auxiliary switches, which there is connections for those underneath the floorboard here. It's hooked up to this wire that's kind of plugged into the firewall there. I'm going to get started on working on running wires through the dash, figure out how to route those, make wiring harnesses. So I'll be back once I get that done. I now have USB ports to the dash. I've got direct wire to the Garmin. I ran those back here underneath the dash, down through here, and then came out inside. Still got to clean up some wires and stuff, but I've got the Garmin is hooked up to an ignition source, and then the rest of them are hooked up to switch 1. And I also have a wire coming in here that is a USB-C for my iPad. So when I plug in when I have my iPad up with a navigation app or something, then I'll be able to plug it in and not worry about power, and those are on a switch, so that I can just turn the switch on and off as I choose. So a lot of progress, got to put everything back together, but we'll show you when it's all done. All right, so we got everything wired up, so let me show you what I've done. For the iPad here, I've got a little USB-C that is actually going through the glove box. So I've mounted it up inside behind the glove box, and I can just keep that cable in the glove box and pull it out when I'm on the road and want to connect it to my iPad. So up on the dash here, I've run 2 USB ports. I've just got a small extension so that I can actually connect to my phone. And these 2 are on a factory switch. So they're only powered when I want them to be. On the Garmin, I bought a direct wire kit, so I ran that to the mount with the charging, ran the wire down, and everything is going back down behind the dash. This is connected to a ignition switch wire, so when the ignition is on, the Garmin will get power. So having the 2 USBs here will also allow me, if I've got a passenger that needs to charge their phone, we can charge the phone on the other mount, or my GoPro, I can actually plug that in directly and have direct power going to my GoPro when I'm going down the trail. So very happy with that. Probably mess around with cleaning it up just a little bit more, but really going to be nice to have direct power to all of those items on it. The other thing that I did was I moved the SPOD. So I had it originally mounted up here on the grab handle on the A-pillar. Problem was that the sun visor it interfered with the sun visor, so I couldn't put the sun visor down more than about that. So now I can get my sun visor fully forward, do what I need to do on that. So I rerouted the cables up through the A-pillar, actually up on the back side of the windshield frame here, and then up to my MOLLE panel. So now I have my SPOD mounted up in the center. It's up above my rear view mirror, doesn't obstruct any visibility or anything. And now I've got good access to that, and I can actually use my sun visor. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Do still have a few more things to do on the Gladiator here. So stay tuned, there's going to be a few more videos, and then pretty soon here we're going to be ready to take it out and do a shakedown run. So thanks for tuning in.